All right, family, just waiting for folk to get in here so we can start this Sunday morning conversation. I hope everybody is having a great Sunday. Our Sunday is just starting. It's just 9 o'clock in the morning here. So
we hope you had a great Sunday.
Right.
We will have a great Sunday.
So I will be posting the link here in the chat. If you guys want to get on and talk and discuss some things and join us. All right, so guess it's just getting on now. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Yeah.
Winter allergies.
Yeah. As we invite more people in. All right, we got 5. The numbers are building. Give people a minute or two to get in, be notified. I dropped my phone this morning, so and I mean I cracked it up. Jesus. It's crunchy on the backside. Yep, it is. What is it? Is 7:05? Wait. What time is it in South Africa? 17.
5:05.
5:05? Yep, that's right. 5:05 in South Africa. Yep. It's 9:05 in the morning here. Early. So how you doing, sister?
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you? All right, the numbers are jumping. We can get started here momentarily. But anybody want to jump on? The link is in the chat, and I will post it throughout the live. And so that anybody wants to hold a discussion or join in on the discussion, you don't have to just be in the chat. Somebody said the chat starts to go off on we're on tangents. They were talking about all kind of other stuff.
Chat always goes on tangents.
Yeah. We're on all kind of other stuff.
No matter what the topic, the chats take a life of their own.
Always, yeah.
That's fine.
Last time I think I waited about 5-6 minutes.
Well, that's because you're having technical difficulties.
I was having technical difficulties, yeah.
We figured that out since.
Yeah. All right. When we get to 10, we're getting started. Everybody else will jump in when they can, you know. We had 9, one more. Yeah, I'm impatient. Boom, 10 to go. All right, let's go and get some started. All right, family, how you doing? This is your brother Assad.
And I'm Adrian.
And we are back again for another long live. I don't know if it'll be too long because I got another call. I had 2 more calls today. So
wow.
I got one at 11:30 and I got one at 3 o'clock. So it won't be too long here because I got all kind of other stuff. Okay, we jumped up 13, 14 people. Hello to everyone that is on. Good morning.
Hey, Australia.
From Australia. Wow. When we watched that movie, Catching Feelings, the white professor or the white author who was in the movie, he left South Africa when apartheid ended and black rule took over, and he moved to Australia. And if I think that is that is a place that a lot of white South Africans went to when they had like a mass
there, and I think New Zealand,
maybe? Yeah,
and then Europe.
I think Australia had like, hey, good morning. I think Australia had like they said, hey, listen, come on over if you know how to farm and you're into agriculture. All right, we got somebody jumping on. Let's see.
Yeah, they facilitated the move.
Yeah. All right.
So that's cool. To tap out. Grow ever more silence.
A 5-hour live stream.
People can do it. I guess if the conversation was that lively, it could happen.
Yeah, but I mean that's deep.
That's a long time.
5-hour live stream.
Yeah, you'd have to tag team like the hosting piece.
I could read this name, Cheslin.
Cheslin Peters. Come on in,
You
Cheslin.
remember
Hey, we've got Durban. Hey, Durban. Ian, Nathan. We need to get to Durban. You know, I feel like that's very important.
How far is Durban from Johannesburg? Is it a drive?
I think it's like a 5 or 6 hour drive. Remember we were there and we were looking at it like, could we drive it?
Oh,
we
yeah.
could, but we were there for such a short amount of time. It just felt like long road trips. But yeah, we really need to get there.
I want to get into this,
especially after
chat.
Yeah, especially after we had that discussion with wait, is Cheslin on? I feel like this has been a while.
Yeah, it doesn't look like her
Cheslin, are you there?
I don't think her audio connected. You see, because it would show the little mic. I don't think her audio connected. So try again. Try to go out and come back in.
Or
if
maybe
you could hear
call it or something from the computer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he says I'm one of the few Black South Africans based in Australia. All right.
Cool.
Yeah, I think she's gonna go out and come back in.
Come back in. Guys, the link to join us on the live is in the chat, so feel free to pop in.
I'm going to post it again right now.
Enjoy meeting you all and having these conversations.
I'm going to post the link again so it can always kind of be fresh there. All right, bam. And it's in yellow. My name is in yellow.
Well, Eduardo, tell us how you're feeling about it, how you like Australia. It's one of the places I've not been. But yeah, I'm interested in hearing what your thoughts are.
In the meantime, family, I need my South African family's assistance. Right? We'll talk about it a little bit. When we fill up a little bit, we'll get into it. But man, Kelly's conversation from the other day. Let me get you into this, man. My shoulders got you all out. Make sure my baby face in here. All right. So Kelly's conversation from it was really 2 days ago, just 2 days ago.
Yeah,
was phenomenal, and so many people enjoyed it. Talked about her experience. Somebody said she had a more South African experience than many South Africans because she lived so many places, did so many things, and she's Shimbe.
Yeah.
I told her. So Sandili reached out to me. Was like, "You really want to go to Shimbe?" Yeah, I want to go. So he was like, "I'm gonna see what I could do." So he's gonna try to hook it up. So maybe so in March when we go there, we may, I think he called it man, what did he call it? 1 second. Doggone it. He says the name is Nazareth Baptist Church, and Shimbe is actually the name of the founding prophet. Okay. He is believed to be a direct descendant of prophet Isaiah from the Bible. So simply put, they mixed Judaism with traditional Zulu practices. Yeah.
Interesting.
That is called there's a terminology for that. Syncretism is what it's called. Syncretism is when you kind of mix traditional, well, from a theological standpoint, is when you mix kind of traditional practices with the nuances of a culture or a new culture. So with the Nation of Islam is a syncretism, right? That idea of Islam or that way they look at it is syncretism. So what we got going on?
So Cheslin said it is funny how we assumed that he or she is female.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that was an assumption.
It was. I'm sorry. Lynn, well, you know what? Let me not say that. Lynn could be a boy or a girl's name. Yeah. But I don't know. I just said, I don't know. I'm sorry. You know, it's different names, different cultures can mean different things. Like
That's true. When I was growing up, everyone told me Adrian was a boy's name.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was in Tanzania, a British woman, when I introduced myself, she was like, why do they give you a boy's name? Like, she was very forward.
Yeah.
That. And I was like, where I'm from, it can be a girl's name too.
Girl's name or boy's name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Our bad for the assumption.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
But well, come back in.
Come back in, and I assume it's a brother.
Right. I don't know. Let us know in the chat. I won't assume anything.
Yeah, I won't assume.
Okay. Yeah. Let us know.
Nowadays they'd be like, I'm Z.
Right.
Yeah.
That's someone said, nah, Lena's a girl's name. I'm not doing this.
I'm not messing with the chat with that.
I'm not arguing the chat going on. Yeah. How they describe themselves. I'm not doing this. So yeah, back to Kelly's conversation.
Yeah.
With the Shimbe. That was fascinating. Mm-hmm. That was fascinating. And I feel like the Peace Corps experience is so very different from just coming for a visit. Mm-hmm. It really gives sort of a peek in a window into living in areas that aren't like the cities are heavily populated. You get real village life or, these family experiences that are really cool. So she did have a very different experience than the average visitor.
And then as a visitor, but as a Peace Corps visit, she's there for an extended period of time. I got to sneeze, but she's there for an extended period of time, right? So then so I think that is the difference. Like most people can visit when they are tourists, they're visiting South Africa for is it 90 days at the most? I mean, at the least, and they can go up to 180 days, right? But most people are not visiting that long. They're visiting for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe a month, and then they're out. But you really cannot experience, and you can experience some things, but you cannot fully get that type of intimate, experience in any place. I believe in less than maybe a year. You have to be there at least a year.
Yeah.
To really get, and you're not really getting all of it.
True. Like, and she lived with a family. So that's different.
Yeah. That's different. And that's a different, see, that's a different dynamic for only certain type of Americans can do that. Right? I can't.
Students? I did a homestay when I did a study abroad.
Yeah, I think like when she talked about Americans needing their space, I think I am
definitely
the quintessential American that needs their space.
When it comes to you, I'm like, they were spot on.
Yeah, I need to go.
They need something called alone time.
Yeah, alone time. Yeah, that was a long time. I need to.
I needed to, though. I mean, we're not wrong, because even when I was staying with that family, there were times where, and I think it was because of the language barrier and not knowing language well enough to really have easy conversations.
Yeah.
Every time I spoke felt like a real challenge, so I was like, I have to practice. I don't know if they're going to understand me. Then trying to conjugate verbs in my head. So there were times when I really did want to just like be alone. Not have to try to understand or speak for a while.
But it's not even that. I want to be alone from other Americans, other English speakers. I just want to be alone sometimes, it gives you an opportunity to be with your thoughts, to kind of assess your day, to assess your life. You need to take that type of inventory of yourself and that type of internal investigation. And it's hard to do with someone there. But I tell you this, even with that, though, you still need somebody. CeeLo said, if I wanted to understand me, I'd have to talk to someone else, right? Because those are the people who can give you another type of insight into yourself. But I still need that alone time for myself. I need a minute or two to be alone, be with my own thoughts. Yeah, you do. I do. Let's see what's going on in it. Oh, I got the chat over here.
Yes.
The link is in the chat, family. If anybody want to jump in,
join us. We look forward to meeting people every week.
Every week.
You never know who you can meet on these lives, and it's so fun.
She said, your lady impressed me with her pronunciation of Zulu names and words.
Thank you. I try.
The Dr. Assad, your wife, knows how to pronounce South African names. Okay.
Cheslin is a man.
Okay.
So we apologize.
My brother, I apologize.
Unisex name.
Come back on, brother. Come back on. Yeah. What are good other unisex names? I don't know.
Adrian.
Yeah, but there are others.
I've seen Michael.
Tony.
Used.
No, I was Michael and Michelle.
No, I've actually seen girls named Michael. Her name was Michael Michelle.
Oh yeah, but that was weird even then.
Oh,
weird. But I seen Tony used as a boy's name and a girl's name.
Yeah. You just can't assume.
Just can't assume nowadays. Yeah. Well, not even nowadays. There's always been these names that go, but it's the spellings that you see. Like I've never seen a boy named Adrian, Adrie.
Yeah, A-N specifically. The boy spelling of it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But anyway, so I watched Cry Freedom last night, family. This is our little quick topic. We'll probably have several topics in this live, but I watched Cry Freedom. Now, I'm sure some South Africans are familiar with this movie. I didn't realize it came out in 1987. I think it came out in 1987.
Okay.
All right, let me give y'all I don't like just
got to do it somewhere around that time.
1987
ish.
No, I got it. It came out in 1987, and this film starred Denzel Washington, and he is playing Steve Biko. Now, I watched the film a long time ago when I was young. You know, when it first came out. Who didn't watch? All Black Americans watched Denzel Washington films, right? It just, well, one time he was like, you know, it was Bill Cosby and Denzel, like they were like the Black Hollywood for us. And Denzel was even more Black. He never, I mean, he has that type of power and pull now, but he didn't have that Cosby type of power and pull. But all the ladies loved Denzel, like my older sister. Oh, Denzel, love Denzel in the movie. We go and see it, right? So I watched Cry Freedom last night, and I watched a Black American playing Steve Biko. And I wanted to kind of, you know, reintroduce myself with Biko's story, which I watched some YouTube videos, 2 documentaries of him talking about Black consciousness. But the power of film is that it brings that emotion to it, right? So you can kind of connect, even though movies are often fictionalized and some stuff is not real or whatever have you. But it still brings that emotion to it, and it gives you a glimpse of who this character was. Now, I say that most South Africans may have seen it, but then if it came out in 1987 and you were in your 20s or something right now, it may not be a film that you've seen. You know, you know, I was talking to one of the lawyers and at court and realized like they were born in like 1998.
You old.
Yeah, like you was born in 98. What? I was a full-grown man. Am I that old?
Yes. Yes,
I was a 98. I was in college. I was a full-grown man. I was in a club and everything in 98.
No.
And they were like, yeah, I was born, you know, so that is, you know, so that's why I say that maybe somebody who was born after may not have gone back and seen a film that's old, that is that old. But it was very interesting to listen to some of the things that Steve Biko was not preaching. He wasn't a preacher, but saying, right? Yeah. Some of the ideas that he had, this Black consciousness, right? Mm-hmm. And what was even more interesting was the juxtaposition of Denzel Washington playing Steve Biko, and then knowing Denzel Washington later, about 10, 15 years later, played Malcolm X. And that was huge. Like, we got somebody coming in here. We like, you would just have to know, like, we never thought that we would have this Malcolm character, right? On in American cinema. In fact, people didn't even want to fund this movie when Spike Lee put it out. But looks like we're having trouble with the audio. Are we having trouble with the audio as people try to log on?
Yeah, give us some feedback.
Yeah.
There's an issue. It should be connecting, but
it should be, but maybe
there's
it's
anything we could do on our end now.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we could.
Oh wait.
Huh? No, see, it's saying here that you have to. It's saying you have to. I think when you log on. Well, how about you try to log on?
Come on. Let's do it. Let's do it. They're saying yes, you are old in the chat.
They say I'm old. Oh, that's cold-blooded, family. Y'all, that's cold-blooded. I was born in 1979. Oh, I gotta let you in. Let me see what happens if I let you in. Say got it. Selfie, yeah. So your audio should be Okay. All right.
Nope, I don't know, guys. It's you.
I don't know.
It's you.
Pelo.
So what will you say about the movie?
The person who just tried to jump in, you may okay, so give the instructions. It's going to tell you is live stream. You guys say got it, meaning that you accept it, and then you gotta click with your audio, either your Wi-Fi audio or your Wi-Fi / cellular audio to actually for the audio to actually connect. But anyway, so I'm watching Denzel Washington play Steve Biko, thinking about Denzel Washington playing Malcolm X and remembering. So they pick up Steve Biko's life in the film. He's already a fully grown adult. He's fully immersed in his work, his Black consciousness work, his uplifting. But some of the stuff he was saying was that Black people, referring to Black South Africans, must have a sense of self, a sense of humanity, must want to do for self, right? He was saying that, many very political things, but it was certain things that I wanted to kind of, certain things that stuck out about this Black consciousness and this Black identity, right? It was very similar. This is my point. It was very similar to ideas that Brother Malcolm and the Nation of Islam were saying in the 60s. Now, this is in the 70s, right? Mm-hmm. This is Biko is in the 70s. I think he died in maybe 77, or he was killed. Let's not sugarcoat it. He was killed in police custody. But some of the things that he said, some of the ideas that he promoted were, you can see the direct linkage between the Black conscious movement in the United States. And we didn't necessarily we call it a consciousness movement in the United States. Those words are used, and to Black folk who are like super pro-Black, they call it, that brother conscious. We don't even call it conscious now. It went from being conscious to what? Woke. So it's the same thing, right? Yeah. Woke is the new I'm conscious, but a conscious brother or a brother or sister was somebody, But the problem now has become that woke has become commercialized. It has become almost I don't want to say stigmatized, but there's this certain negative connotation that comes with being woke now. Like you can't be too woke, or you brothers are too woke, or when you notice something, you're too woke. So I actually like the idea of going back to using a terminology like consciousness.
Well, I feel it's also been connected to like extreme liberalism too.
Right. It has been connected to extreme liberalism, which, that's such a unique point, Adrian, and a good point. Because
it's gone beyond Black anything, and now it's just
extreme liberalism. Right. Because if you listen to Malcolm in particular, and even Steve Biko was saying, we have to do for self. We have to have our own.
Yeah.
Right. That's not liberalism. Not that, I mean, there may be some liberalism tied into it. There may be some intersection with liberalism. There may be some intersection what we call a conservative ideology, but Black consciousness is not coming from the same position, right? So when you hear something that says, that sounds like That sounds conservative. Do for self. You know, that is not the same as in the United States, white Republicans saying y'all need to do for self. No. When black people will say, yeah, it's not bootstrap Horatio Alger. You know, it is not that theory. It is very different in terms of do for self. But you're right. Is the black consciousness or wokeness has been associated with all right, we got somebody. Brother, brother, sister, I'm about to let you in. Make sure you accept the that you're on the live stream. All right, we got 2 people. Make sure you accept that you're on the live stream and connect your audio. But
yeah, someone says superficial, and I'm guessing that means the term woke.
Yeah,
that's my guess.
All right. Y'all want to put those cameras on for me so we can see your face? And iPhone. We got somebody that says iPhone, and they paused and they muted themselves, and somebody else's their audio is connecting. So hopefully
this is so strange. Now Edward is saying he can't connect to the meeting, and and it's saying waiting for the host to start the meeting forever.
Oh, for real?
The right link?
Let me see.
No, somebody.
Yeah, somebody used the link. Yeah, so let me put the link back in the chat, brother Edward. I'm gonna put the link back in the chat again. Yeah, brother Edward, I'm putting the link back in the chat. It's right up under your comment right now. Now let me get back to the Zoom meeting. All right. So the family that
joined us, introduce yourself.
Yeah, the family that jumped on, introduce yourselves. Hey guys. Hey, jump on. Yeah, iPhone, go on, jump on. At least put your mic on and say hello. iPhone said I'm camera shy. And then we have somebody, no.
This is very strange, y'all.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Nobody wants to be on camera.
I don't know.
They just don't want us to be by ourselves.
When you join the live, the idea is
there you go.
There you go, that you interact on the live.
All right, there you go, right there. I think he or she is maybe getting themselves together. You know how that goes. But anyway, so yeah, that somebody mentioned superficial. That's what woke has become. It's become superficial. That's very true. That is a perfect word. Whoever said that, thank you very much, because that is how I will describe it from here on. It is not. We got a lot of people jumping on the live. We want to make sure that somebody's interacting.
Right.
But yeah, it's very superficial. But anyway, it was just really interesting to watch again Steve Biko and being played by Denzel, and knowing that Denzel played. And why was it interesting? Because out of the mouth of Steve Biko, I heard Malcolm. Not only did I hear Malcolm, I saw Malcolm because Denzel was playing it. You see, and it wasn't that Steve Biko, you know, how can I say it? It is that those experiences that South Africans had and that Black Americans had that produced these similar mouthpieces, these similar vessels who came up with these ideas about how to interact and again, black consciousness. So we have a lot of people that are having trouble connecting to the audio. This is not cool. You know, we have people on live. I think all this person has to do is so I don't know. Oh, that's the only person on camera that shows. Okay.
Yes.
So it just shows that person on camera.
Well, guys, if you're in the Zoom meeting, if you're in the chat, speak up, say something, let us know. If you're having trouble, send us a message, let us know if you're having trouble.
Yeah. Like iPhone sent us a message.
Yeah, just saying, hey.
Oh yeah, this person is having trouble too. Okay, Josie Gold. Let's see if Josie Gold gets on. We're gonna have a screen full of.
About to start.
Let me see. Let me see this.
Yeah.
Josie Gold is joining. There we go. He's on. No. That's Fanny Streets.
No.
Oh.
Streets.
That boy came fat. That boy can't read. Okay, so Josie Gold.
Oh, Zulu Warrior says, I too am having problems, so maybe it's a sign. I don't know what's going on with Zoom today.
I don't know. You guys are having trouble. I wonder if we should go out and come back in. I don't know.
We're having their issues.
Yeah.
Well, Fanny, can you?
Josie Gold is on. Josie Gold is connected.
Hello?
Hello,
yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, how are you?
All right, brother.
Once again, brother Assad, yeah, you are very old. When you were a grown man in 98. Adrian, I'd like to congratulate you for your pronunciation again at some point.
Thank you. But listen, I'm like, what, 2 years behind you? A year?
Yeah, he come in with the insult.
Yeah, but no, look, I was 7 in 98, so.
You were 7 in 98? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, brother. I was yeah.
Yeah, I got you, bud.
I had
That's a
ID and
12-year
everything in the
gap.
club.
It was like, what, 12 years?
Yeah.
What do you say?
You got
It's like a 12-year gap.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
10. Yeah, about 10 for me.
Yeah. But the thing about it is though, yeah, you just young. I'm not old, you're young. Well, no, I thought about it the other day. I was born in 1979. That sounds very, very like a very long time ago. I wasn't even born in the 80s. I was born in the 70s. Like I should have an afro. I see iPhone and jumped on. Yeah, I've gotten, yeah. And let me tell you, Josie, I'm gonna tell you what my daddy told me. The only way to avoid getting old, do you know?
No, what is it?
Die young. That's it. My dad told me that when he said the only way you can avoid getting old, son, is to die young. That's it. Other than that, you got keep living. It's gonna happen to you. I went to the doctor the other day. The doctor told me I got arthritis in my back. Man, I'm 43 years old. I have arthritis. I'm like, man, arthritis is for old people. I drink milk.
Just lived a long life.
Boy, I tell you, man, this age catching up to you quick. The doctor said I had mild hypertension, so all of a sudden I got to stop eating red meat. And I'm like, I'm moving to South Africa.
Man, it's going to be
Yeah, you're in trouble.
for you.
I'm moving to South Africa. I can't wait to get to a bride. You telling me I got to cut out red meat?
You're in
Oh
trouble.
man.
Yeah, look, the lady that you had on the other day, like, was it yesterday? Yes, yesterday's video. Like, I was very impressed by her. Like, she really learned about the culture. She really explored the country. I mean, she's done things I've never done. I mean, when I see people from the Shembe church, I just look at them. I never really thought about them, as in their culture, what they do with their religion. So I learned some things because I've never really focused on it. I see them, they have posters and like written Shembe is the way, something like that. But I learned a lot from her. Congratulations, she really knows a lot.
Yeah.
And she really studied the country.
And it's not only that she studied, because a lot of people study, brother. I think that she has an observant eye.
Mm-hmm.
It's a difference. Some people can go to South Africa for a year and come back and all they could tell you maybe is about, oh, I went to Nando's and to the mall. Right?
Yeah.
But she has an observant eye. She really kind of made it her business to embrace the culture. And I think more than anything, those are the type of people, and I can't say what South Africa should or shouldn't do, but those are the type of people South Africa should welcome, because those are the people who have a sincere interest and love for the country. I mean, she's marrying a South African, so yeah, definitely. I was super duper impressed with her, and just super duper impressed with some of the stuff, her experiences. And she introduced me to some ideas that I want to try, because when we are in SA, we are city people, right? We're in Johannesburg, we go to Pretoria, and we've been to Cape Town. We are city. We have driven to, again, like Kruger. So we did go through Nilspert.
Nail spray.
Nilspert. All right. I think I said it right. I think I said it because I repeated that to him. I think I said it right. But but other than that, I have not, experienced what it's like outside of like these big cities. Like Johannesburg is a huge city, right? So I would like to. And oddly enough, the day before we left this trip, or the day we left, actually, I was on the phone with a brother from, is it Mpumalanga? Mpumalanga?
Yeah, Mpumalanga.
All right. And that brother was like, he was like, brother Assad, you got to get out of Johannesburg. You got to come visit me out here. And if you think, that it's cool in Josie, you'll love this side of town. And it's like rural SA is not what you think. Because when I think rural, I'm thinking like rural in the United States means, cows and farm animals. And he was like, no, it's not like that. He was like, we have full-blown estates and everything out here. So I think if we can, this trip, we're going to take a quick side trip to somewhere a little more rural and see how other parts of SA are living outside of Johannesburg, just to get that feel.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, I need to say this. Look, I'm a city person. I've lived in Johannesburg my whole life.
Yeah.
Rural life depends on where you're going. Some people do live soft lives. There's a YouTube channel that showcases that, like the whole rural life inside. Like some of those people building nice houses, some of them are into farming, some of them are not. So real life is also different. But I don't think there's anything wrong with people just being city. I'm a city person. That's what I prefer.
Me too. Listen, I didn't say I was fit to move to the no. I just want to see it. No. I'm definitely a city person. Definitely a city person. I am but that's one of Joe's one of the things that we talk about when a lot of African Americans, because I recently had someone on my Facebook page kind of critique South Africa, saying that, oh, you're leaving the United States just to go to the United States in Africa, right? Why would you want to go to this, westernized place? And it is like, it's some of their minds, right? And some of these folk who have this concept, we're supposed to leave the United States and go to some rural farm village out in the Gambia. And I don't see nothing wrong with the Gambia. I like the Gambia, but that's not where I want to go. I'm going from a city, like I'm a city slicker now, and I want to be a city slicker when I leave, and so I just think that's part of this for them, for those who have that type of mentality. It's just part of their I don't know, I think I call it like a Black consciousness block. Like I think they're conscious and they want to reconnect with the consciousness. That's not where I want to go. I'm going from a city. Oh, I can hear myself. I'm a city slicker now. YouTube. I want to be a city slicker when I leave, and yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
But so
no, continue. I'll continue.
I think I was finished. I go on and on and on.
Okay.
So go ahead, bro.
Okay. Look, personally, for me, as someone who grew up in Johannesburg, that's the life I'm used to. So I don't know, like, what some people are looking for, but people want different things. You want rural life, it's there. If you want, not to, be mean to people, if you want the dusty life, there too. Struggle life. So, it's there too. Personally, I don't want that, but if you want it, hey, you can live that if you want it.
They call it dusty. The dusty life. Hey, some folk like that. Some folk like that slow pace, that because it gives you, now that is listen, growing up, I grew up in the city, but my mom is from what we call the country. We don't say rural, we call it the country, right? So my mom is from the country, rural Louisiana. And we used to go out there often to see my big mama, my grandmother. And that type of experience is different. Number one, it was different. It was safer. You could always you always knew your neighbors. You didn't have to worry about crime or stuff like that. And it often gave you an opportunity again to do that type of self-inventory that I was speaking about earlier, because you're away from all the distractions of the city. So there is some benefits to every once in a while going out to the rural areas and kind of getting away from the life. But I'll tell you a funny story, man. My mom sent me to my and your parents used to do the same thing. Yes. They would send you off to your to your grandparents' house in the country, right? That's kind of a Black American thing. If you
summertime,
yeah, during summertime, and I was out there for about a week. I was supposed to be out there for like 2 months. Man, I was out there for a week. I called my daddy. I was like, "Sir, this is not gonna work."
There's something in common.
Yeah,
there's something in common because here in South Africa, there's a similar practice.
Oh yeah,
sent back to their grandparents.
Yeah. But man, I was a teenager out in the country. I called my daddy, and I have to have one of the best daddies in the world, because my daddy got off of work at 6 a.m. and drove 3.5 hours to pick me up, and then drove 3.5 hours back to the city, because I was like, Daddy, this is not gonna work. I was in tears. There's nothing to do out here. There's cows and stuff, Daddy. What am I gonna do?
Oh my word. Yeah. When they dropped me off, that was it. And my grandmother worked you to death. That was the thing. Like, she woke up so early and it was like, we need to eat, we need to start cleaning. She had her routine. She had a little store. I had to go help her at the store. It was like, oh. My
grandmother used to be like, sweep the porch, pick the flowers out of the garden, mop the floor. Oh yeah, pick the weeds out of the garden, mop the floor, wash dishes, and I'm gonna get you a stick of gum. And and a quarter, and I'm like 14. What I'm gonna do with this quarter? Old lady, you tripping? and then she'll be like, "Listen, this is real talk. This is some of the funniest thing. She wouldn't cook, like, because my grandmother was old. My grandmother, I think she died at 89, so it wasn't no like cooking. I had an aunt that lived out there, and she would come and bring us like McDonald's and stuff like that. But other than that, my grandmother would be like, "Yeah, go and cut you a slice of watermelon, and that'll be dinner." Oh man, that's dinner, man. That big old slice of watermelon with some salt on it. Man, yeah, no, Daddy, come get me, please.
Yeah. Please. Can I just, the whole woke thing, Steve Biko thing that you were talking about. Personally, right now. Huh?
I can't hear you, breaking up a little bit, brother.
I'm breaking up. Am I still breaking up?
Yeah. Well, I can't hear you now.
Okay.
No, we can hear you
now. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yes. yeah.
Okay, the whole Steve Biko and the whole woke thing. I think for me, the whole woke thing is more liberal, more like white liberal when it comes across that way.
Yeah.
That's how I see the whole woke thing.
Yeah.
And Steve Biko and them were more focused on Black people, uplifting Black people, especially mentally, freeing them like mental slavery, if you want to put it that way. Like, to think for yourself, to view yourself in a different way, proud of who you are. I mean, when I speak to older people, there was an event that happened in June 16, 1976. When I speak to them, they say the person that really inspired them was in every school, his teachings were there. He was the main trigger of it back then. That's what they tell me. So I can't compare Black consciousness to woke.
Right.
It's not the same thing.
It's just not.
It would be wrong. Right. Yeah.
No, brother. I'm I'm with you 100%. You're absolutely right. Black consciousness is not the same thing as woke. I just think those terminologies here in the United States, they just kind of moved from saying conscious to woke. But woke is definitely, man, you hit the head now, is white liberalism. And nothing wrong with white liberalism, you know, for white people, but for Black people, we have to have a different approach to our, but you know what I love about the term consciousness is that consciousness is like conscious, right, is a psychological term. So then it makes you kind of do this, it brings into questions ideas of identity, right? You know, and that's why I think it's important that he said Black consciousness, because it brings us, who are we? Who are we? That's a very important question that Black people all over the world must answer, right? No, not just Black people, but everybody all over the world as individuals must come to the point where they ask, who am I, right? And what is my role in this world? What is my purpose in this world? And how do I accomplish that? But then when we talk about group level analysis, right? When we talk about group level, then each group has to come to this, well, who are we? What is our purpose? What is our role? Then when you look at oppressed groups, right? And this is where Black consciousness comes from. It comes from an oppressed group, right? Both in South Africa and in the United States. And I'm sure that there's other variations of it throughout the diaspora. But then that oppressed group then says, well, who are we and how do we break from this oppression, first, not in a physical way, but in a mental way, right? So in the United States, I think we're still dealing with how to accept our identity, right? And we are still, some of us in certain generations are dealing with like inferiority complexes, right? Feeling that we are, they call it the imposter syndrome, right? Feeling that we can be in rooms now, but we don't really belong, and we don't really have the type of training, or we don't really, like, we're really faking and acting. So all of this inferiority stuff comes from really not dealing with what? Identity. Who are we? You know? So very powerful stuff, deep stuff, my brother. I thank you. I thank you for jumping on, Josie Gold.
Yeah.
I see we.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. No problem. I see we got iPhone on. What's going on, brother? iPhone. iPhone came on.
Brother iPhone.
Hey, brother Assad.
Yes.
Hey.
Hello, Adrian. How are you?
Hey.
What's
Good.
going
How
on,
are
brother?
you?
This is my first time being live on Zoom with you guys. I'm so excited.
Oh man, we're excited to have you, iPhone. What's your name, iPhone?
My name, I wonder if you can pronounce it. It's Mfundo.
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 Hey, Adrian, you got it.
Man, y'all get out of here. Man, get out of here, man. Everybody, oh, she pronounced everything so right. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I just want to say, listen, I love your channel, guys. I love your energy. I always follow your videos, you know. So I just want to jump in on the last interview you had with the lady, that the African-American lady that visited South Africa. I was quite impressed with their knowledge and everything. And throughout the interview, I could see she was focused more on the rural areas. That's where she spent most of her time.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, you know, what I know about rural areas in South Africa. You have a lot of people that live in the cities that also have homes in the rural areas in South Africa. And people with old school values, respect, you find them a lot in the rural areas. So anyone that tells you something negative, you know, about the rural areas or someone from the rural areas, man, I have a totally different view. I have for those people, because they know both sides of the world, the city life and the rural life. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's very true. You're right. So that means that they can survive in both. And most city people, you know, like myself, if you put me in a rural area, I won't be able to survive long.
It's a liability.
Yeah, I'm a problem.
Now, having said that, I'm trying to relate to your story now. You know, my mother, she's from the rural areas, my late mother. So there will be times in December when we have to go back there. She would spend 2 weeks, 3 weeks. A day for me was enough.
Yeah.
I would spend a day, and, you know, I'm a city boy, grew up in the city. Before you know it, I don't see much. But to her, it was calm, relaxing, watching the cows and the goats. And I'm like, no, this is not for me, you know? Yeah. So with all of that said about the rural areas, just know I enjoy the cities just as much. I could not, spend a lot of time there, but a lot of my friends are from there, so they really love it. And to save a lot of money, because you don't buy everything in the rural areas. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what your mom may have been experiencing that my mom may have been experiencing is that the rural area was home.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? That was their home. There was that emotional bond, connection and bond to home. So since the city is home for you and I, we didn't have that same bond. So after a while, it's like, okay, yeah, this is cool. But mom is like, no, I'm home. Even to this day, at 43 years old, my wife would tell you, my childhood home was sold maybe 10 years ago, about 10 years ago, you know, and so my parents don't live there. So I pass by it every so often and just look at it because it's a home that I can't, I grew up in that place until I was 18, 19 years old, left, went away to school, whatever, but that was home. And now I can't, you know, walk into it just to say, just to smell that smell of the house, you know, and to touch the walls that I grew up in, you know, that I grew up running when I'm running down the hallway, dragging my hand against the wall. And my mom was like, you stain up my paint and all that type of stuff. Mess up my walls and all that type. So that type of stuff. So when people have that type of psychological connection to home, they could sit there for hours. I used to be amazed at how my mom could sit on the porch at my grandmother's house. My mom came from it's nine siblings all together. And they would go and sit on a porch where, I mean, they're all sitting like on the porch. It's like 8 of them. And some people on a swing, some people sitting on a step. My grandmother had her own seat. And I mean, they would sit out there for hours just hitting mosquitoes because it's hot and mosquitoes out there. And they're hitting the mosquitoes and just talking about the old times. So I'm gonna tell you what's important about that. I'm going on a tangent, but let me tell you what's important about that is that you got, you know, for Black Americans, you know, we are still struggling to maintain learn our lineage and our ancestry and stuff like that, right? But those conversations you heard from the old people talking about stuff that happened when they were children, right? And so my grandmother died at 89. So imagine sitting on the porch with an 80-year-old woman and she's talking about what happened, you know, 70 years ago and who her family was, you know, who her friends were, who her uncle was. So that is that type of ancestry connection and learning and what you call it, genealogy that you can't get with a DNA test. You can't get the narrative with a DNA test. You can only get, oh, you're connected to this person. But Big Mama was telling you stories that was, you know, detailed and who she remembered and how it was when she was growing up, even in a more rural time when I think, you know, the rest of the nation was rural and just coming into the Industrial Revolution. So yeah, spend time with old people. Let me just say that. Spend time with some old people.
Last point. Yeah, last point I would like to make on this issue. You know, someone was talking about land, I think a couple of videos ago. And, you know, the nice thing about rural areas, people have got a lot of land there. Now, the picture in the rural areas is changing. A lot of the people that work in the cities, I mean, they're really making up their houses, building mansions and whatnot, and there's plenty of land. And you would find that in the cities, land is not as much as in the rural areas. So that picture is slowly changing. Rural areas are getting modern as well. And on top of that, you've got land. So I just thought, let me bring this, issue in because there was a discussion about land in the previous weeks, but we're not going back to that.
No, definitely.
All right, guys, that was my contribution for today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And, you know, we appreciate when you guys jump on and sort of share your feedback. We appreciate you watching the channel. So thank you so much.
I'm putting a link in the chat again, family, for anybody that wants to jump on. We can talk about the rural areas. I saw somebody saying something about me, ribbing me. I forgot what it was, but we had somebody else jump on. What happened to Sue? I thought Sue jumped on.
Sue, another Lynn. It was Sue Lin.
Yeah, they fell off?
I guess.
Oh.
Yes. Well, come on back if you can.
Well, in the meantime, if y'all want to help Brother Assad out, I need a letter from all of my South African family. You can send it to my email address. I'm as I build my case for my visa, right? This is not part of, they don't ask for it, but I think it'll help bolster my visa application. I would like some letters if y'all want to. I'm not begging, I'm just asking. You know how them TV evangelists, you know, I'm not gonna put this on God, right? But if you want to, you could write a letter saying, you know, I like Brother Assad and the cultural stuff that he is talking about between African Americans and South Africans. And you can put your name, what else? Their name and maybe email address. Mm-hmm. And you know, don't just say that. You know, if you're a writer, if you're not a writer, you know, you know, some people are good at writing, you know what I'm saying? But if you're not, Google. But yeah, I need some letters of support, letters of recommendation. Just saying, hey, Brother Assad is doing some phenomenal work. He would be great to contribute to the conversation and the cultural research here in SA. If y'all want to do that for me, I would greatly appreciate it. I don't know if you want to address it to the Department of Home Affairs, but that would be greatly appreciated. I would greatly appreciate that. And you can send it to my email. Now, you know, this is not even a part of the process. I am just trying to make sure, you know, if you know anything about me, I am trying to cover all of my bases. So there are several visa applications that I'm going for. I'm still doing the SACWA thing with the PhD, which is taking literally until March. I can't get over this.
End of March.
The end of March. I really can't get over family. It is a phone call. It is really a phone call. The whole process to verify the PhD is a phone call. But so I got several options to make sure that I'm squared away. And that is one that would work eventually. It just takes so long, right? But there's another option that I can go, and it would really help bolster the claim, or help bolster the application, not the claim. The application, I think if I had some letters of like support, recommendation from my South African family, not no job offers, just, hey, I think the work that Brother Assad and Sister Adrian are doing, it's great. They're really holding conversations that are bringing African Americans and South Africans together. And that would be greatly appreciated. Honestly, I would really appreciate that. Again, you can send it to my email address. And I promise you, I won't start asking y'all for no money. You know, right. It'll be my first time and last time asking y'all for anything. You know what I'm saying? I don't ask people for much. You know, I don't ask people for anything, really. It's my individualistic American approach to life. What else we got going on?
Let's look in the chat. Someone said in South Africa context, the landscape is changing and our rural areas are getting modern.
Yeah. So when I talked about growing up, the place that we would go is Alexandria, Louisiana. And Alexandria, Louisiana used to be rural. But now you go there, they have a mall, they have a Walmart. You know, it's a pretty developed place. Still very small, townish, you know. I went there on my way to Dallas, Texas. I stopped by in Alexandria and I saw my grandparents' grave. And my grandfather was born in 1895. And it just blew my mind. 1895, he was born literally 30 years outside of slavery. My grandfather was born. So when we talk about Black Americans talk about like slavery was so long ago. My grandfather was born 30 years outside of slavery. Well, what does that mean? That means more than likely, his parents were slaves. That's what I'm saying. More than likely, right? His parents were slaves. So my great grandparents, that's not far.
No.
My children met their great grandmother, my dad's father. They knew her. She just passed 2 years. Yeah, my dad's mother. She just passed 2 years ago.
Yeah, they met my grandmother.
They met,
Still
and
alive.
she is still alive.
Kicking in her 90s.
So great grandparents are not like some, you know, deep distant. No, I knew my great grandparents. Well, on my daddy's side. So yeah, slavery right there, 1895, and then my grandmother was born in 1905. That's the way the old people say it, 1905. If y'all know, that's 1905.
I don't think I've ever heard
1905. That's when she was born. And she was saying like the 1905. But yeah, so what else we got going on in the chat?
Don Parker, thanks for your support. He's saying, come on, guys, let's support Assad.
Man, thank you, Don Parker.
Appreciate
it. I think it was Tiger. Was Tiger Truth that said something about me?
Oh, let's see.
Back in he said something. I thought he was ribbing me. Brother Assad, that's why. Oh no, that's what you're saying. That's why DNA is okay.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. All right, Tiger. What's his name? Tiger of Truth?
Yes.
All right.
Tiger of Truth.
Shout out to Tiger of Truth. What else we got going on in the chat today? In South Africa, what? Oh, the rural area changing.
Yeah, definitely. She's saying, watch. I think it's Velile Lifestyle and Decor. She talks a lot about.
I follow her.
Property. I thought so.
Yeah, I follow her. I follow her on YouTube. Yeah. So let me tell you, any YouTube stuff that is related to South Africa, most likely I follow. I follow the Tea Room. I think it's called and she comes on, what's up, Zanzi? And then her videos be like 2 minutes, and she's just talking about celebrity gossip. You know what I'm saying? AKA was spotted out with his new love. And then Pearl Tusi went on some kind of date. You know what I'm saying? You guys also must visit the province of the Eastern Cape. Yeah, we're gonna get to the Eastern Cape. Yeah, we're definitely gonna get there. Definitely. But yeah, I follow a whole lot of. I follow SABC. As a Newsroom Africa, I believe it's called.
Oh wow.
I follow because I want to keep up on the daily happenings, and it's some stuff. Shout out to our South African family, professor at Wits. I ain't gonna try no more to say Wits. Reached out to me. Did you know that Wits has a center for the study of the United States and a specific route with a study for African Americans?
I didn't know.
I thought that was amazing. Like, they studying us.
They have Black American studies here. And you ever notice like most of the graduates are white? And a lot of those programs, it used to be that a lot of those programs when they were set up, most of the people studying
probably
Black
so.
American studies for white
well,
Americans.
You know, now let's say this. During the Cold War, the experts on the United States were not in the United States. The experts on the United States were in Russia because people study their enemies very, very. So that when you say them white graduates from them African American studies, yeah, I don't know, but I don't think South Africa is doing it. Like, I think South Africa, that's like our brothers and sisters studying their brothers and sisters, and that's deep. You know?
Yeah, that's cool.
But you know, and I feel like we slacking as Black Americans. Where's our Center for South African Studies? Like, because there's
a lot of the Ivy Leagues have.
I bet you they do.
The Ivy Leagues have very in-depth African studies.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. It's just our lonely Black school
just started picking up on it, but it's through a connection or some sort of relationship they built with another university recently that they bolstered up that area. Yeah.
So
certainly not enough.
The HBCUs really have to get onto the continent. We have to make the connection to the continent. You know, when we were in school, they had a Center for Black Jewish Studies. Nothing wrong with that. They had a Center for Black Japanese Studies. Nothing wrong with that. But they didn't have a center for like African studies. And we are at a school with like 5 of our professors are from the continent: Nigeria, Ghana, Senegal, right? Mm-hmm. They're from the continent. And we have a gang of African students, like continental African students. Yet we don't feel like, man, you know, maybe we should have a relationship with Wits. You know, maybe we should have a relationship with the University of Johannesburg, right?
It would make sense.
It would. It would definitely make sense.
Definitely makes sense.
Yeah. Oh,
Doc is in the building.
What's going on, Doc? The icon is here. Yeah. What's happening, Doc? Man, Doc and I have been having some interesting conversations over the old text message. Doc and Josh and I, right? So, yeah. You know, it is always good to commune and to communicate with like-minded people, individuals who have a similar world perspective and who could see the vision, right?
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people in your life think you're crazy. And so it is important to have
without vision, the people perish. Yeah. Yeah, it's good to be able to talk to someone who's like, oh yeah, I understand why you want to go. Who gets it, right? Because you talk to so many other Black folk in the United States and you tell them you're going to Africa and they're like, why would you leave the land of milk and honey?
Apparently it's the topic of conversation at the children's school.
Isn't that strange? The principal at the school is talking about the fact that we are leaving to move to South Africa.
Did you hear?
Right. Like, why are y'all worried about that, man?
And so was it the young? No, it was my oldest, who's 11, was saying that his friends didn't know. They thought that it's the same myth about Africa that an 11-year-old was like, I didn't think they have anything over there. You know, isn't it just like jungles and animals? And he was like, no. And he started to describe his experience in Johannesburg, all they've done. And the little boy was like, oh, that's really cool. He showed him pictures because, you know, they have computers in school now.
Yeah.
But that little boy was blown away.
At 11 years old, we have an 11-year-old, and he was a white boy too, right? Mm-hmm. Thinking that Africa is just the jungles and how does
safaris,
So how does this myth continue to get perpetuated throughout the years, throughout generations? We are in the age of information, right? That little white boy probably could tell you what it's like in Japan because he can watch anime and all of that type of stuff, and he doesn't think Japan is in jungles or that they still walking around and what you call it, kimonos? Yeah, kimonos and stuff like that, whatever have you, every day walking around in kimonos. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so these images, that's the importance of the power of media, right? Media can be a very powerful and useful thing, but it also can be destructive and damaging, right? Kenneth B. Clark, if you guys take a moment, when we get off of this live, look up Kenneth B. Clark doll experiment. Kenneth Clark doll experiment, DOLL experiment. And it's the experiment where Kenneth Clark and his wife, Mamie, I believe her name was, please forgive me if I said the ancestor's name wrong, but these were Black folk in the 60s. I believe it was 60, maybe they did it first in the 50s. But they took dolls, and they had a Black doll and a white doll. The dolls were identical, other than the fact that one was Black, one was white. And they would put the doll in front of a little Black girl, a little Black boy, then a little white girl, and a little white boy. And they would ask questions like, which doll is smart? And you would see the little Black girl point to the white doll. Programming, right? And it would ask, which doll is pretty? And the little Black boy would point to the white doll. Programming. And they would ask, which doll is bad? And they would point to the little Black doll. Programming. And hence that he showed the effects of internalized racism, on these 5 and 6-year-olds. And it's a reason why it is called a radio program, a television program. At least that's the language we use in the United States, right?
Yeah.
It is something that's being constructed in your mind or in the minds of the viewer or the listener to begin to perceive things in a certain way. So these young Black children, and then what was sad is that they did it 20 years later, 30 years later, they did the same exact experiment, and little Black babies were still pointing to white dolls, saying that the white doll was pretty. And then the sad part is, oh, that's the part that will break your heart when you watch it. Then they'll say, you know, they talk about all these negative things about the doll. Which doll is bad? Which doll looks angry? Which doll is ugly? And then they would say, now, which doll looks like you? And you would have to see you would see the self-esteem of these little Black children crushed when they have to point to that Black doll. But see, that's the effects of racism and white supremacy in the United States. Now, I don't know how it is in SA.
Yeah, someone said they think that's more of a white American ignorance because Europeans are always vacationing in Africa.
Right.
Very true.
Very true.
Very true.
But you know, Americans in general are very limited on our experiences, right? And we exposure and experiences. We are Black, white, red, or whatever have you. We are very limited. We don't go. A lot of Americans travel, but there's an arrogance to Americans, right? We always feel like no matter where we go, our place is the best, right? So we don't ever think of. Some do. There's a lot of Americans leaving. So I don't want to make this super duper general statement, but in general, a lot of Americans have this arrogance about us, about us, because I am an American. I can't deny that. But like our place is the best, and our country is the best, and when we leave, you know, it's really just to go on vacation, but we'll never leave the United States. So we really don't have that type of exposure. It's a weird thing. And even when we go to places that we clearly see are a little bit more advanced or has something that's, you know, like what I'm thinking about.
Like a Singapore.
Like a Singapore, exactly what I was thinking. Like a Singapore, even then we act like it's some type of anomaly. Now it's really not working the way they saying it's working. You know, you know, it's just the weirdest thing, man. So what else we got going on in the chat? Let me leave if anybody wants to jump in. I guess I haven't been invited.
Can I jump in quickly?
Yes.
I'm curious, Brother Assad, in terms of the schooling for your children in South Africa. What kind of schooling do you intend to put your children into, if you're comfortable answering that? Yeah. And the reason I'm asking, it's because I mean, I've got a child as well that's about 13 years old, not too far from your eldest. So the schools in South Africa, you have what is called Model C schools, and you have your private schools. And a lot of the Black kids that go to these schools, I would say the culture is not that different from what you would get in America in terms of language. Okay. So I'll take my children, for example. They went to multiracial schools and they're much more fluent in English than they are in their mother tongue, partly because the schools are emphasizing that speak to them in English so that they can quickly understand and read to them, and all the books are in English. Yes, we speak the indigenous language at home from time to time. So you'll find out a lot of the kids in South Africa that are about that age, up until maybe the age of 15, 21, they are into that Western culture. So I'm thinking your expectation, because the schools are not necessarily rich in African content, and I wonder what you expect versus what you are going to get, and how to manage that expectation.
Yeah. So no, I think thank you for that. Thank you for that, brother. That was a very important question. I think we understand kind of that most school systems around the world have become westernized, right? We've kind of, it is what it is. I mean, that Western culture has permeated just about everywhere. You know, I talked to a Nigerian brother. He said that, you know, obviously the school that he went to, everything was taught in English, and that the history of Nigeria started in 1961 when they learned history in school. So it's so unfortunate. Now, with that being said, in terms of like history and culture and stuff, fortunately, my children have a scholar for a father and a scholar for a mother. So I can give them a little bit of history and culture, a little bit. But the school that we're looking at, well, it's several, right? Our children go to a French school now. Why, you may ask? Why do we have little black churn at a French school? Well, we live in a Francophone area, historically Francophone area in the United States, one of few. Well, I think it's the only one, right? The state of Louisiana was a French colony for longer than it's been an American state, right? Or about what and what now as time passes on. But so throughout Louisiana, everything was like French. So we go see your big mamas and your grandmamas, and they spoke a form of French we called it Creole French. And I don't know if it's no real French, but it was French, right? And English.
Yes, when soldiers from these areas went to fight in World War II and were in France, they could communicate. So they were used as translators a lot of times. So it's not pure French.
It's not pure French, but yeah, it is Louisiana French. Yeah, dialect. Great, yeah, right. So so they had a French school, and we wanted them to continue to learn the language because we think that again, you know, y'all heard that joke that says, what do you call a person who knows 3 languages? Trilingual. What do you call a person that knows 2 languages? Bilingual. What do you call a person that knows only 1 language? An American, right? Most Americans don't know more than 1 language, right? Because we can get by our entire life just knowing English. So we wanted our children to be able to have like a second language. And in fact, the oldest boy is picking up a 3rd language. He's learning Spanish now. Spanish is obviously a pretty big language in the United States and in this region of the world. So one of the schools we're looking at is a French school. Then there's also St. John's, right? And I think what I liked about is that what I say, right?
Yes, I'm trying to think if it's college.
Yes, that's correct.
College. That came as a recommendation.
Yeah, someone recommended that.
There's a few private schools. We can go through a list, but in March we've got to visit several of these schools and sort of see them for ourselves.
So I think number 1 on our list is the French school, because we still want them to continue with that language immersion. We don't want them to lose it. And it unlocks so many things, for so many opportunities just by having that second language. French is probably the biggest language, one of the biggest languages in the world, definitely big in West Africa, to work for foreign service, work as a translator, stuff like that.
It'll be an ease of transition too for them. They're already sort of changing so much in their lives that a school, because all of these lycées and French schools follow the same curriculum, of course, that's how they get accredited. And so it would sort of be where they could pick up where they left off and not change too much,
right?
So that's part of it too, as far as like the French school.
And keep in mind, they've never been to a school where they learned in English, so that would just kind of be very different for them.
My youngest doesn't want to. He was like, no, I want to stay in French school. You know, my oldest was like, I think I want to try an English school, but it would feel weird. It would feel weird. Because they've never been in English speaking.
Never been to the English speaking. Not to learn anything. And so then there's the Crawford School that we heard about. Again, it's several other schools, but I appreciate that question, because there's some, you know, I know that they won't be learning about Steve Biko high school. Man. Don't worry, I got him.
Right.
Daddy got him. Don't worry about it.
We'll teach those.
Don't worry. It's the thing about it is that I grew up in the Black Baptist church here in the States. And if you know anything about the Black Baptist church, particularly before faith-based initiative, George Bush created these faith-based initiatives where politicizing and political talk and stuff in the church were removed in order to receive funding. But before that, the Black church was, I mean, that's what Dr. King came. Dr. King came from the Black Baptist Church, right? And learning about history, learning about culture. You didn't learn that in school. You learned that at church.
Yeah.
You'll go to church and the preacher was talking about, Dr. King or Jesse Jackson, and you had Sunday school. Sunday school included Jesus, and it had pictures of Jesus and Dr. King. And in the Black church, they about one and the same, Now they're gonna have Jesus, Dr. King, and Barack. So
yeah. And even for the French educational experience, there are so many what is it, like francophone African leaders who speak French, and I want them to be sort of connected to like the Negritude movement and things like that. So it's the language will just be an avenue, I think, to introduce them to another world of conscious leaders.
I think you'll be happy to know that some of the independent schools in South Africa do offer French as an additional language for those international students that want to do Afrikaans, isiXhosa, or Zulu. All right. So French is there. I know my son's school does have French. So you do have that option as well of enrolling your child, and French as a language will be there over and above English.
Okay. Somebody said that it depends on if the teacher is radical or not. They said that they definitely learned about Steve Biko in school. Well, that's great to hear. So it says, Doc and Adrian, I don't know of the quality of French schools in SA, but I went to a German high school in Cape Town. Good experience.
That's interesting.
I've never even heard of a German school. Like I thought they only taught that in Germany.
In Johannesburg too.
Oh wow! I didn't know. But that makes sense because Germany is pretty important. Like in a lot of things, cars for sure. I think ignorant people who still take everything they see on the media as true gospel. Everyone should always try and get a second opinion or independent, different sources before making up one's mind. I can't pronounce this person's name, but I want to give them a gold star. I want to give them a gold star because that is big old facts, right? Like that is what we have to do. That is the role of scholarship, right? The role of scholarship. Everybody won't claim to be a scholar, but you definitely want to have several sources that you receive your information. And truly, you want to vet those sources, and you want to vet the sources. So when they say, hey, I got this information from X, Y, and Z, now you need to go to X, Y, and Z and vet that source and see where X, Y, and Z got their information from, right? That is the role of a scholar. That's the role of a researcher. And you can go back as many generations of vetting as you need to until you can kind of validate. Okay, we got somebody jumping in.
Yeah.
Admit. All right. And do we say?
I see Andisiwe.
Man, you know I can't see from way over here, even with my glasses on. and the Seaway. All right, he's on.
Welcome.
And the Seaway. Okay.
If you're there, unmute yourself. Introduce yourself.
You might be getting ready, got a clear throat.
Wipe the crust.
Hello.
What's going on, brother?
I'm cool, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. Look like you're enjoying your glass of wine. I see it in the background.
It's Sunday. Unfortunately, I couldn't go to a bride.
Oh man, look, I can't wait.
I'm chilling at home, man. I've got a test tomorrow, so I've got to work.
Oh, so you're in school?
No, I've got my own business, but I do study.
Okay.
On the side. Yeah.
What kind of business you have?
I'm in construction.
Oh.
Very cool.
Okay. You still got your own business. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm based in the Eastern Cape in East London, where the beaches are. East London, Port Elizabeth, Durban, Cape Town. But East London is a smaller metropolitan as compared to other cities.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a part of rural South Africa. So here we're busy developing the infrastructure to be as compared to as Joburg and Cape Town and Durban. So, so I study on the side because my father and both my parents are academics, so they used to nag me about studying and stuff. So I have to do that as well.
Hey, look, that's right.
Yeah. So my 2 cents worth. I joined in on YouTube. We were talking about languages. I was fortunate enough to work in the South African Air Force when I was 8. After I dropped out of school when I was 19 in University of Free State. Then I joined the South African Air Force. I got exposed to languages. I speak 9.
9.
Now, if you know languages, any environment is your home.
Yeah.
And even if the accent is not the same, but people can tell, okay, this person is not from here. However, she knows her language, so people take you seriously. So that is important. And number 2, I was going to advise you guys that your children, because Trevor Noah has got a small book, he wrote an autobiography, right? But he did a version for small children. So I think that you should introduce that version to your kids so that they can understand to be an outsider joining in a different culture. You can check on YouTube that I think ample of his videos explaining how it feels to be somebody from not within the culture, but you look like these people, but the culture is not the same, and how do we change it? Now, the other point I was going to make is whether you can choose St. John's, these white schools, whatever, it doesn't matter. What matters is because I'm exposed, because I'm in construction, I'm exposed to people who are politicians, business people. Some of them went to these schools. But however, when they're 18 and above, they become black. They can be white when they're going there. But as they start reading about black culture, they become black. Now, it's better for them because they understand whiteness. So if they fight against whiteness, it's much more better because they understand how to deal with white people. As compared to somebody like me. An example, one of my best friends is a mayor around here in East London. He went to a white school. We used to nag my father. I didn't want to go with him, but he didn't allow that for us. However, now he's the guy who's championing transformation and change in our city. Even though you went to this so-called white school, so it doesn't matter. As long as kids have got exposure to different cultures, language is very important. And now I'm on a journey to learn Swahili because Swahili is big. I heard we talk about French in the continent, but Swahili I think is going to be the biggest in the continent in the next decade or so. That would be fundamentally important. Swahili, yes, we can learn French, Spanish, whatever. However, I think going forward is going to be the biggest language in the continent. So that's my 2 cents worth, man.
Man, no, that was a lot. That was a lot. That was more than 2 cents. That was a lot. I definitely appreciate that. I definitely appreciate the part because you kind of touched. I went to the part about the consciousness at 18. I think I was always raised in an environment where like we were conscious of race, we were conscious of who we were as a people and our history because my daddy is a Baptist minister. Somebody say ran 1,000, yeah.
My daddy is a pastor too, was a pastor last year, so.
Yeah, so well, you know what it's like being a preacher's kid, but my mom was a teacher. She taught elementary school. She taught first grade, and then she taught third grade. So I went to the same school that my mom was a teacher, with same school in which she taught, right? And it was a majority white school in the 80s in the suburbs, right? So and so one of those things that I talked about earlier was like this inferiority complex, thinking that you didn't belong. But I was one of the smartest, and I'm not saying this by any way to sound arrogant. My grades speak for themselves, right? I was one of the smartest people in the class. I graduated second in class behind a brother named Rahul from elementary school by a brother named Rahul Prasankumar. He was an Indian brother. The smartest girl in the class, her name was Jenny Young. She was Asian. I'm saying this to say, and I mean no disrespect to my white family or anything like that. Please don't take this. But growing up, the idea was I didn't grow up with the idea that white people were super duper smart or anything like that. In my opinion, the smartest person in class, I thought Indians were the smartest ones. They always, you know what I'm saying? Like both of his parents were doctors, like medical doctors. This is real talk. Like both his parents were medical doctors. Jeannie Young was an Asian sister. She left there and she left our regular school and went to a school strictly for gifted people. Strictly for gifted people. She was that smart. So growing up, I never said, oh, white people are smarter than black people. I didn't have that type of inferiority because I grew up around them. And maybe that was my own experience. But in that little elementary school from kindergarten to fifth grade, I got to know them intimately because they were still the majority. I got to know them intimately. I was cool with some of my best friends was Jason and Richard. White boys I grew up with, used to, my first crush was a little white girl named Rosalind Rishaw. You know what I'm saying? But so growing up, I was into, but there's certain things that never affected me. I never thought that they was that smart. I always thought that Asians and Indians were smart, and I knew that I was smart, so I thought that black people were smart. You see what I'm saying? But then I get to college. It was not until I got to the university that I went to a school that was majority black. Like everybody, not even majority, everybody was black. It was 100% black because it was a historically black college. And that was a different experience because for so long I knew I was smart, but I didn't see many other smart black kids because we were in school with a whole bunch of white people. Then I get to university and there's buku smart black people. And I was like, oh, this is different. My wife, that's why I met Adrian. Like, it was buku, and she obviously smarter than me, but it was buku smart black people, right? And I was just like, oh, wow. I also keep saying buku, a lot. Many black people.
I'd like to say a bit. Like you were saying that your father was a minister. My dad was a minister and a teacher as well. He unfortunately passed away last year. Now, with church, this is a black church. I don't know. I've read about the history of the black church in America and everything, but not into depth. However, black church across the world had a political consciousness within it. Because at home, even though I dropped at school, my father was like, "What book did you read this week?" I have to explain to him what that book was and everything. So they always conscientize us. But in as much as you can do whatever, you have to know who you are. Be smart. Smartness is very cool. And this thing of us sagging our pants and everything is not cool. And then I like what you said, that even if your children don't get this political consciousness at St. John's, for example, you will have it at home. Yeah. Because that's what I got at home as well. At school, we were taught about Bismarck, the kings of England, whoever, Jan van Riebeeck. But at home, I had books of Kwame Nkrumah, I had books in I was a psychiatrist, Fanon. As a kid,
yeah, all right.
Yeah, as a kid, my daughter is 13 years old. Her name is Azania. Azania, by the way, is the name of South Africa. Its original name. However, it's called South Africa now, but that's a long story. So she's 13. She wanted to go to a white school. I'm like, nah, I never went to a white school. So you're going to be here because I want her to learn language. First, her language. Then at least at 16, then she can go to her mother in Gauteng, in Pretoria. Then she can learn other language like I did. So she was like, no, don't worry. As long as you are literate, you learn about who you are. You are assured of your blackness. Even if you meet with other people, as long as you're cool with you, then you can't be cool with other people in your environment. The thing is self. Now, we've been conditioned as Black people across the diaspora to not be sure about who we are. No, it doesn't work like that. I remember a funny story. When we were bothering my dad about going to white school, I was like, you will meet standard 10. Standard 10 was grade 12 back in the day because I was born in 84. Now it comes to grade 12 were competing across nationally. And then we're preaching these kids. It was like, what did I tell you? As long as you're good, you read, it doesn't matter. So I'm looking forward for people like you to come to this kind, because to impart your skills, to impart whatever you guys have. We've got culture, you guys has got hustle. So I think it will be a beautiful measure of you guys when you come this side and us guys coming that side and we meet up. It will be a beautiful measure. I've got to go. The wife wants me. But I'll watch it on YouTube. Thank you very much for.
Thank you so much, bro. That was a great contribution.
Please remember Trevor Noah's book. He's got a kid's version of his original book.
I'm going to find it.
Yeah, please check it. Born a Crime. There's a version for kiddies. I think that will be a best on Audible.
Okay.
He read
I've read Born a Crime. It was an amazing book. So yeah, I'm gonna look.
It's more amazing when you hear his voice, because he narrates himself with different accents.
Yeah.
So you get the nuances of the culture and everything. So
yeah.
Thank you very much. Have a beautiful Sunday, guys.
You too. You too. Have a great one. You have a great one. Well, that was truly an experience. I mean, a great commentary. We appreciate it, brother. Enjoy your wine. Enjoy your wine. All right. Well, I know you say you got to go. I'll mute you, and then, yeah.
Indeed.
Let me see how you do this. So you won't have to just sit on. So you can go. You don't have to sit on camera. All right. There we go. So, family, it's a slow Sunday.
Yes.
And but that's great, man. Intimate conversations are really great, and I appreciate that brother's last comment. Yeah. Anybody else want to jump on? Let me put I'm gonna go put the chat in the link one more again.
There was a lot of comments related to the schools. A couple of folks, someone said they know the French school, it's a good school. Someone said that St. John's is a wonderful school.
Okay.
But there's a German school in Victoria East.
I just put the comments in the link in the comments again. Let's get one more family to jump on before we go, because I do have 11. I do have a prior engagements, right?
Yes.
That's coming up. But man, I enjoy this Sunday stuff. I do look forward to it, man. Like just connecting, like honestly, I said before that when we first came back in this January from South Africa, I got a little down. And Doc mentioned Doc that y'all saw last week on the show, or on not the show, on the live. We both mentioned how we got this feeling of being depressed, like coming back into the United States. And I think the reason why I like doing the YouTube stuff, the reason why I like doing the lives is because it keeps me connected. And it's like, it kind of eases. It's like, it's almost like Novocaine. I get to interact. It takes the pain away a little bit, and I get to interact with the South African family. I get to, record something and read the comments from the South African family and
keep learning.
Yeah. And then I feel more and more connected, and it's like, oh, right now it's about a month away and I'll be back, right? Yeah. Just about a month away and we'll be on a plane landing in SA, and that is just like exciting. So I think, these intimate conversations and stuff that we do on Sundays, you guys are like, oh, thank you so much. We love your channel. Y'all don't really know how much y'all are feeding us, as they would say in the church, feeding our spirit. Somebody, iPhone got a question. iPhone. Go ahead, brother.
Guys, last question. I watch a lot of YouTube, right? And I watch a lot of documentary about America and the food shortage and whatnot. I'm very curious to know how widespread is the problem of food shortage, or is it confined to certain states in America? It's really scary, and I'm asking because I'm wondering how soon will it be before we see something similar in South Africa? Can you just share maybe your thoughts on it?
Well, I think maybe a couple of weeks ago we went to a grocery store and the shelves were kind of light, but I think we went to the grocery store.
Just a couple of days
Yeah,
ago.
2 or 3 days ago, and everything was kind of packed. Yeah, I think it's different areas of the country are kind of feeling it differently. But yeah, I think that may have passed right now. I think
Yeah.
I don't know. I know Omicron has stuff held up. Now I do know that if you are shipping something like a lot of stuff I just read this the other night, maybe almost 30% of American products that are being sold on the market come from China.
Mm-hmm.
And there is an extreme backlog on certain products. Like I went to buy a pull-up bar in 2021 at the height of the Delta variant, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the sports store was like, oh no, that comes from China. We ain't got that right now. You're going to come back. It'll be a couple of weeks before we get that in. So and you know that's hard for an American. Boy, that's hard for us.
Yeah.
You know, waiting. I gotta wait. That is not a
waiting.
good. That is not a good. I start to do these like examinations of who we are culturally, and you know, like we're so used to right there.
Yeah.
Right there. That's why I'm talking about these letters, because Sakwa is making me wait, and we're just not used to that. We are like, right now, right now, right now, right now. If I can't get it today, can I get it tomorrow morning? Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, so a lot of the like products and stuff, but in terms of food shortages, I think that's
I haven't
passed.
seen it
Yeah,
locally too much.
yeah, I think
we
that's
still have
passed.
labor shortages.
Oh,
There's so many things. Some of like the restaurants we like are closed down. It's like,
Wow.
sorry, we can't hire people. And you just see, you know, jobs, you know, need workers or hiring now and bonuses and all this stuff, just trying to get enough people to work.
Man, it is the weirdest thing that is happening. So in 2020, there was, you know, obviously everybody was home. And the United States government started giving out like unemployment assistance for those people who were laid off from their jobs. And so the prediction was, oh, that soon as Corona is over, these people will return back to work. However, these people decided, hey, I kind of like not having to the jump into the rat race every day. So initially the predictions were they would return back to work soon as the assistance ran out, soon as that unemployment money ran out, these people would run back to work. Well, many of those people did not run back to work. And unemployment ran out a long time ago. And these people have started their own businesses or left the country. I don't know what happened to these people.
No,
but a whole lot of people did not return to work. And I don't think a whole lot of people will ever return to that day-to-day rat race. I think Corona, COVID-19, lockdowns, the nation's response, the world's response has fundamentally changed the way that we see work. The days of Americans working 12-hour shifts are over. For low pay are over. Americans have finally had the opportunity, and this is now going into 2 years, right? Have finally had the opportunity to take a breather and to reassess and evaluate and investigate and interrogate their work-life relationship, and it's not looking good for that relationship. It's a divorce. They're in divorce court right now. That relationship is in divorce court. They're going through
demands
mediation.
must be made.
It's not looking good. So the labor shortage is real. My cell phone is cracked up and broken. I don't know if you can see that, but it's cracked up and broken. We passed by the Verizon store that is supposed to be open to 6 o'clock, and it is 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's closed.
Shut down. Not
no workers.
People.
Right? We go to our favorite restaurant is a Mediterranean restaurant. Go there, no wait staff. And if the restaurant is open, now you're waiting these extra long times to get something because the staff is, is 2 waitresses, 2 wait staff or whatever have you. that's rough. We're not used to that, you know?
Yeah, someone, Sipo says, lots of stores have empty shelves here in America. Perhaps, I mean, we can only respond by kind of what we're seeing locally.
Yeah,
I mean,
locally,
it's
yeah.
It's not our experience.
Well,
Stores
Sipo,
aren't empty in New Orleans.
yeah, not right now,
Not
but
right
the staff is definitely short. It is.
I mean, my parents, they're in Texas and they haven't said anything about empty stores. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Where they're experiencing that.
It may be all over. It may be in different places, just not in the waters right now. And that may also be because we are port city. So maybe we're able to yank the stuff off the off the dock. And in terms of grocery shopping, like our local grocery stores source a lot of this stuff locally. So a lot of at least the fresh produce and stuff like that are sourced a lot, not all of it, because you can still find Dole and like the brands, but a lot of stuff is sourced locally. A lot of the meat is sourced locally. So maybe that's why we're not experiencing it as much as maybe a place who is not near a port or who doesn't a state that doesn't have a big rural population where they have stuff growing and they can farmland and stuff like that. Yeah, buy from local. So yep, I guess I don't want to hold. It's 10:50.
Yeah,
family.
I gotta run by the grocery store.
We making red beans. So let me tell y'all about red beans. Y'all eat red beans in South Africa? Somebody let me know. Because if not, I need to know if I need to bring my red beans with me. Red beans are a New Orleans tradition. You cook the red beans, you cook them on a Sunday or a Monday. Really, people eat red beans on Mondays. Like red beans and rice on Monday is a tradition, but it's really because it was the leftover food kind of from Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. You may cook them because it take a long time to cook red beans because they're hard and you got to soak them and then you cook them down to they almost creamy like, and you put a little beef sausage. Most people put pork sausage in it, but since we Muslim, we put a little beef sausage or turkey sausage in it. And some people put a turkey neck in it or whatever have you. And oh man, that's good. That's good. You can almost taste the ancestors. You know that's some real African stuff when they put the you going do all the cooking. Talking like I'm going to do all the cooking. No, buddy. I do know how to cook. When I first met Adrian, when we first was getting together, and we were adults and stuff, I used to make a mean pot of turkey necks. I know how to make, what's it called?
Country cook.
Yeah, but I also made some biryani one day. Didn't I? Yeah. I did make some biryani one day. On the well. So, some goat biryani. I went out to the Cassives. And but I know how to burn a little bit. Now I ain't no Gordon Ramsay. I know it doesn't cook. Gordon Ramsay?
Yes.
Yeah, I ain't no Gordon Ramsay, but I do know how to cook a little bit. But I got a good partner. He's a chef, and he know how to burn. So if I need any pointers, I'll reach out to him. Family.
We gotta go.
I got 11:30. And I need to go to the store. And I need to eat before I go. Before I get on that call. Family, once again, thank you so much for spending this little time with us on this Sunday. Man, y'all are feeding our souls. You guys are really don't know each comment. I try to like and love each comment on these YouTube channels, each email that you guys send. I wake up in the morning excited to check my email because I know I will have an email from one of my family in South Africa. So I really, really, really want you guys to know that you are feeding our souls. You guys are encouraging us. You guys are motivating us. You guys are encouraging us. Did I say that already? I might have. But yeah, so I really want you guys to know, I feel like Marvin Wines. Sometimes I just stare in the mirror and encourage myself. Never would have made it, right? So I want you guys to know that you guys are greatly, greatly appreciated. And please keep the comments and emails coming. Anything else you want to add?
Nothing else.
Your face is looking extremely cute.
You want to make your request?
Oh,
one last time.
Anybody that want to write a letter in support of Brother Assad coming to South Africa, please write it. I'm not going to tell you what to write, but you can mention that, you know, he is doing great cultural work to bring the two sides together, the Africans and African Americans. With that being said, I know we kind of late into this thing here, man, but I got a good one coming up. We got a good a good one. Y'all gonna enjoy this. And this person is well known in South Africa. So I done moved up. Now. This person is well known and important. Shout out to Ezekiel for hooking this up. Easy for hooking this up. But I got a good one coming up. I ain't gonna announce it until I get all the details squared away. Here goes somebody named Kelly jumping in. Let's go and talk to Kelly.
Is this Kelly from the other day, Kelly?
Oh,
hold on. It could be a different Kelly. I mean,
it could be.
There are Kellys.
And we gotta stop saying it's a girl because Kelly could be a boy named. That is Kelly. What's going on?
So I just had to come on and say, so I just hung up the phone with my mom. She's traveling, and I said, oh mom, you know, I did a YouTube video, like interview the other day, Friday. And she's like, oh really? She said, it wasn't Adrian and Dr. Assad, right? I said, yeah, it was them. Mom said, so
now we got to meet your mom.
So you have so I told them I would let you know you have a fan, okay? You have a fan in Florida, Port St. Lucie, Florida. So I just had to jump on.
That is amazing.
Guys, no.
What?
And she knew everything. She was like, yeah, you know, I know they're going to South Africa in March, and they wanted their family to come. They're encouraging people to come to South Africa. I said, yeah, that's them. So I was on the phone with her, and she said, well, I gotta hop off. I want to go see the interview now. Okay, no problem.
Yeah,
so I just wanted to
Miami. We need to say hello.
Yeah.
Right, absolutely. Oh, she'll be so happy.
Kelly, Kelly, have you read the comments on have you seen the video?
I have seen the video. I have read the comments. Everyone has been very, very nice. And I'm happy that my love and respect, like for not only South Africa, but South African culture was able to come through. It's something that I take very serious, not only South African culture, but just culture in general, understanding. And I think that's why I've had such a positive experience, because I you know, and whenever I come and I approach things, I don't want to approach it from an American lens. So I'm just open. And so that's why I've been able to have some of the experiences that I have had. I was on a little bit earlier before I spoke to my mom, and I saw that someone in Durban said that they'll take you to a Shimbe church. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Yeah. But I've had so many like experiences. I went to like a Nabele coming of age event for women. So the longer that you're there, the longer that you know people, everyone have, you know, like the same experience. So, yeah.
Kelly, I want to thank you again for coming on, because the people was, they were super duper impressed. I mean, I woke up because, you know, the video comes out at midnight Central Standard Time here. So it's like 1 a.m. your time, but it's in the morning there, like 8 o'clock in the morning in SA. So when I woke up from going to bed at midnight, I woke up 8 o'clock, 8 hours later, whatever. And it's like all of these comments, this is the greatest interview ever. And she really studied South African culture. She had a better South African experience than me. All of this stuff. And I was like, wow. I didn't really think I would have to go through. I had to go. Usually I try to wake up the next morning and respond to each comment. It was too many. I just had to go through it like
there all day.
Yeah, I just go through it like, man. So you really impressed them. They were really truly impressed by your knowledge of SA and your experience there. And I was too. It wasn't just them. Yeah, I was too. You know, but I did tell you, my people, if I said I needed to go to a Shimbe church, I was gonna get the hook up. Somebody sent me a text message and said, brother, if you want to go, I got you.
It is an experience. On Sundays is when they do like their dancing, and then on Saturdays when they have the normal church. So
do they eat together? What they like?
So how did I so I went Friday afternoon. We did eat. On Fridays, they don't use electricity. So I ate with the other women. What the guys were doing, I'm not sure because it was very separate, but I did eat with other women. And I did, like, I had to get like permission to take pictures. I was able to meet Shimbe. And I was trying so hard to meet Shimbe. When I did meet him, he was like, oh, what do you need? And I was like, I didn't even think about that part because I was just trying so hard to meet him. But I did go up and I did meet him. I don't think I touch him. I don't think I touched him. But it was interesting. It was interesting.
So it's really like a messianic figure, like in the Christian, well, they are Christians, I assume, but in the Christian tradition, like, there's that story in the Bible of the sick people wanting to touch the hem. If I could just touch the hem of his garment type stuff.
Yes, because the closer and closer that you got to him, the more visible ailments I saw, because obviously ailments can be invisible as well. So the more visible ailments I saw for people wanting to go up to him and meet him and have him to pray for, whatever issue that they had. And so they also anoint themselves with Vaseline. So a lot of people are eating Vaseline, and then people were bringing him gifts.
They're eating Vaseline, you said?
Yes, they were eating Vaseline, and kind of with this, they were getting spoons and they would eat it, or they'll put it like on their heads. And then the closer and closer that you got to him, that's when you saw a lot of the gifts. So I saw suitcases, pillows, blankets, and people bringing him stuff. It was a big deal.
Wow.
I couldn't, it's something that you really have to experience. I didn't know what I would see. And it's I'm still a little sad, but when I was evacuated from South Africa, the phone that I had a lot of those pictures in died. So I didn't have, so a lot of the footage and stuff that I have maybe 1 or 2 pictures, and I put on my Instagram, and then I sent my mom, when I was there, some pictures as well. So I probably have to look back to, I think that was 2019, in our messages, to see if I have some stuff. But I lost a lot of it. So I was like, oh man. And that was when I think before that, a lot of people would come and take pictures and would record, but that was at the time where the church didn't allow people to take footage. So I really had to get permission. I had to meet, I had to get permission. I could have just go up in there. No,
right.
I couldn't do that. I had to meet with elders. They want to know who I was, where I was coming, why I was in the country. I mean, they weren't mean, but they just wanted to make sure that maybe I wasn't there to exploit their image. The dancers they're not naked, but their breasts are exposed. So you want to for the virgin women and girls. So you want to make sure that if someone is coming in, that they would be careful with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
And respectful too.
Respectful.
Yeah, man. Well, Kelly, thank you for jumping on.
You're welcome. I just wanted to say
I wish you had
hi.
jumped in early. We could have had a
Oh,
part 2.
sorry. Okay. Well, I just hung on the phone with her, but I was like, I know they're on live. Let me just hop on real fast.
Yeah.
Child, you have some fans in Florida. Okay. If you don't have a watcher nowhere, you at least got one good one.
In Florida. So tell Mom we love her, we appreciate it. Tell her we love her and appreciate it.
Thank you.
I will. The Bahamian family.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. Y'all have a good day.
You too.
You too.
All right.
And that was a pleasure to have Kelly jump on.
I mean, such a pleasure.
That was a pleasure. An unexpected surprise. You never know what the day brings. iPhone left. I want to tell him bye. iPhone was on, but he said bye in the chat.
Mr.
So
iPhone. Thank you.
Shout out to iPhone. All right, family. So okay. I gotta get something to eat before my next call. Family, Thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate it. One time, let me impress if you can. Asad El Malik, ASADELMALIK @gmail.com. If you could send me any letter of support, whatever have you, addressed to the Homeland, the Department of Homeland Affairs. Home Affairs.
Yeah.
I would appreciate it, man. We love you guys. Have a great one. And we will see you in about 2 days with another video. I'm telling you that it may not be the one in 2 days, but the one that's coming, and y'all gonna know it. Y'all gonna be like, wow, how Asad pulled that off? Becca, he's a gangster. Because he's a gangster. Boy, he do it. Watch what